In a move that has plunged the world into the most dangerous economic confrontation since the Great Depression, Beijing has declared all-out economic war on the United States, vowing total retaliation after President Donald Trump signed a sweeping executive order banning all Chinese technology from federal government systems and launching the America First AI Chip Alliance. This is not mere posturing. This is the opening shot in what could become the defining conflict of the 21st century. An economic war that threatens to shatter supply chains, crash markets, destroy jobs on both sides of the Pacific, and push two nuclear-armed superpowers closer to the brink than at any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The shock is absolute. Within minutes of China's foreign ministry issuing its fiery statement late this afternoon, global markets convulsed. The Dow plunged more than 1,200 points in after-hours trading. The Shanghai Composite cratered 14%. Oil spiked. Gold soared. Cryptocurrencies went haywire. In Beijing, state media broadcast images of Xi Jinping meeting with top military and economic officials under the headline, "China will never yield to American bullying." In Washington, Trump addressed the nation from the Oval Office, declaring, "China has stolen from us for decades. Today, that theft ends. America First is not a slogan. It is our survival." This is the full story as it unfolds in real time on April 22, 2026. The executive order that ignited the firestorm, President Trump signed the order at 2:17 p.m. ET today, surrounded by CEOs from NVIDIA, Intel, AMD, and TSMC, as well as national security officials. The 47-page document, titled Executive Order on Securing American Artificial Intelligence and Semiconductor Supremacy, does far more than previous restrictions. It immediately prohibits every federal agency, contractor, and grantee from using any hardware, software, cloud service, or AI model originating from or trained in the People's Republic of China. That includes Huawei servers, Lenovo laptops, Tencent cloud infrastructure, ByteDance algorithms, and any semiconductor fabricated in China or by Chinese-owned fabs. The order also creates the America First AI Chip Alliance, a public-private partnership that funnels billions in new funding to American and allied chip makers while explicitly excluding any Chinese participation. Federal procurement rules now require trusted foundry certification, effectively blacklisting SMICs, Huawei's HiSilicon, and every major Chinese chip designer. The Department of Commerce has 30 days to publish a full entity list expansion that will hit over 300 Chinese companies. White House officials told reporters the decision followed months of classified briefings showing Chinese intelligence had penetrated federal networks through seemingly innocuous tech, from smart building systems to AI-powered HR software. One senior official speaking on background said, "We found backdoors. We found data exfiltration. We found that Chinese AI was being trained on stolen American data." This was an existential threat. The president acted. The order takes effect at midnight tonight for new contracts and phases out existing Chinese tech over 90 days. The Pentagon, intelligence community, and Department of Energy are already moving to rip out and replace systems. The cost to taxpayers is estimated at $47 billion over the next 2 years, a price the administration calls the cost of freedom. Beijing's explosive response, all-out economic war. At 6:48 p.m. ET, China's foreign ministry spokesperson issued a statement that sent tremors through every capital. The United States has launched an all-out technological war against China. This is an act of economic aggression that violates international law and the basic norms of civilized behavior. The Chinese government and people will not be intimidated. We declare that we are prepared for all-out economic war. We will use every tool at our disposal, tariffs, export controls, financial measures, and more, to defend our legitimate rights and interests. The United States will regret this reckless provocation. The language is unprecedented in its directness. All-out economic war is not diplomatic code. It is a declaration that China intends to weaponize every economic lever it possesses. State media quickly amplified the message. CCTV ran footage of Xi Jinping touring a semiconductor lab with the caption, "China's technological self-reliance will defeat American containment." Social media inside China exploded with nationalist fervor, with hashtags like economic war and never yield trending within minutes. Analysts immediately began parsing what all-out actually means. The most immediate threats are clear: a near-total ban on rare earth exports to the United States. China controls 80% of global rare earth processing, critical for magnets in electric vehicles, wind turbines, fighter jets, and yes, advanced chips. A cutoff would cripple American defense production within months. Retaliatory tariffs on American agricultural products, aircraft, and automobiles. sectors that employ millions and are politically sensitive in swing states, accelerated dumping of US Treasury bonds, potentially spiking American interest rates and crashing the dollar. Cyber and influence operations already in motion, according to US officials who report unusual activity on American networks tonight. Pressure on third countries. China is already calling in favors from Belt and Road partners to isolate the US diplomatically. One Chinese economist quoted in state media said, "If America wants decoupling, we will give them the most painful decoupling in history. Their economy will bleed, their military will weaken, their people will suffer." Trump fires back. "We are ready." President Trump held an unscheduled press availability at 7:35 p.m. ET. Flanked by Vice President Vance, Commerce Secretary, and National Security Advisor, he was in full battle mode. "China has been at economic war with us for 30 years. They stole our jobs, our technology, our future. Tonight I drew a line. No more Chinese chips in our government. No more Chinese software spying on our agencies. No more dependence on a country that wants to replace us as the world's superpower." When asked about the all-out economic war threat, Trump smiled and said, "Let them try. We have the best economy in the world. We have the best military. We have allies who will stand with us. China needs us more than we need them. Their threat is empty. Ours is real." Trump also announced he would address a joint session of Congress next week to request emergency funding for domestic chip production and to impose reciprocal measures if China follows through. He hinted at possible secondary sanctions on any country that assists China in evading the ban. Republican leaders on Capitol Hill rallied behind him. House Speaker and Senate Majority Leader issued a joint statement calling the order long overdue and bipartisan in spirit. Even some Democrats offered cautious support, though progressive voices warned of higher costs for consumers and risks of escalation. Markets in freefall, the first casualties. By 8:15 p.m. ET, the damage was visible. US futures were limit down. Asian markets opened to bloodbath conditions. The Nikkei fell 9%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 11%. European futures pointed to a grim open. The VIX Fear Index spiked above 45. Commodity markets told the story of what an all-out war would look like. Copper, used in everything from chips to EVs, surged. Rare earth futures went limit up. Soybeans and corn, key US exports to China, tanked on fears of new tariffs. The dollar strengthened initially on safe haven flows, but analysts warned that if China dumps treasuries, that could reverse violently. Wall Street analysts were blunt. One top strategist at a major bank told clients, "This is 2018 on steroids. Last time we had a trade war and markets recovered. This time the battlefield is semiconductors and AI, the crown jewels of the 21st century economy. There is no quick resolution. This is a multi-year conflict. The technological battlefield. The executive order is not just about federal computers. It is about the future of artificial intelligence itself. Chinese AI models have made stunning progress, often by training on vast datasets that include scraped Western data. By banning Chinese tech from federal systems and creating an allied alliance, Trump is attempting to starve China's AI ambitions of both data and advanced chips. Industry experts say the move will accelerate the de-risking already underway. Companies like Apple, which still relies on Chinese manufacturing for many components, are now under intense pressure to accelerate diversification to Vietnam, India, and Mexico. TSMC's Arizona fab, already under construction, suddenly looks like a national security asset rather than just a business decision. But the cost will be enormous. Replacing Chinese-made components in everything from military drones to hospital MRI machines will take years and cost hundreds of billions. Consumers will feel it in higher prices for smartphones, laptops, electric vehicles, and even household appliances that use smart chips. One tech CEO who attended the signing told reporters, "This is the right thing for national security, but it will be painful. We are entering an era where technology has two poles, American-led and Chinese-led. The middle ground is disappearing." Global reactions. Allies cheer, neutrals panic. Allied capitals reacted with a mixture of relief and anxiety. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Australia, already part of informal tech coalitions, welcomed the move and signaled they would align their own procurement rules. The European Union issued a cautious statement supporting secure and resilient supply chains, but stopped short of endorsing the full blacklist, reflecting its own deep economic ties to China. Taiwan's government praised the order as a strong signal of commitment to the island's security, given that TSMC produces the world's most advanced chips and is seen as a potential Chinese target. Taiwan's defense ministry went on high alert tonight, citing increased Chinese military activity around the island. In Beijing's view, this is encirclement. Chinese state media accused the US of forming a tech NATO aimed at containing China's rise. Analysts in Shanghai warned that if the war escalates, China could respond by restricting access to its massive consumer market, the ultimate leverage. Historical context: how we got here. This confrontation did not emerge overnight. It is the culmination of decades of friction. From the 1990s WTO accession that hollowed out American manufacturing, to the 2018-2020 trade war, to the COVID-era supply chain shocks, to the 2022-2025 chip export controls under both Trump and Biden administrations, the trajectory has been clear. The difference now is the total nature of the break. China's strategy of military-civil fusion, requiring private companies to share technology with the People's Liberation Army, made the federal ban inevitable in the eyes of US national security officials. Documented cases of IP theft, forced technology transfer, and talent recruitment programs targeting American universities added fuel. The TikTok data privacy battles and Huawei 5G bans were early skirmishes. Tonight's order is the full mobilization. What comes next? Scenarios of escalation. Experts outline three main paths. Managed decoupling, optimistic but unlikely. Both sides impose pain but open back channels. Rare earths are exempted in exchange for limited market access. Talks resume in 6 months. Markets stabilize by late 2027. Prolonged economic war, most probable. Tariffs, export bans, and investment restrictions escalate for years. Global growth slows to 1 to 2% annually. Supply chains fragment into two blocks. Innovation slows as duplication replaces efficiency. Middle powers like India and Vietnam benefit as alternatives. Hot war risk. Nightmare scenario. Economic pressure leads to miscalculation over Taiwan. A Chinese blockade or invasion attempt triggers US intervention.